Please welcome Zane Banyan. I wonder how tall you are.
Thank you. Yeah, I got it.
You're a professional.
Whew. Hi, everybody. I'm 11 years old, and I burst into my kitchen breathless because I'm so excited. Growing up, my dad was a Lebanese wedding and lounge singer. Yeah, thank you. And as Arabs, music is such a huge part of who we are as people that I knew growing up that I wanted to be a singer too. And an opportunity had just presented itself. My friend at school had just told me that the local theater company in Windsor was putting on a production of Annie, and they needed young girls around my age to audition. So I run into my kitchen to tell my mom. I'm like, Mama, auditions, young girls who can sing and dance just like me, you have to take me. And she looks at me over her glasses like moms do. And she says, Abadan. Nihna banetna ma biyamlu hek shi. For my non-Arabic speakers, that translates to, absolutely not. That is not something that our girls do. And I am devastated because I'm so sure that music is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think I trust my gut and I think I trust myself, but maybe it's going to be harder than I thought. It's 16 years later. It's 16 years later, and I'm sitting in a circle with 8 of my friends in a huge field in Chicago. And I'm so happy because it's exactly where I want to be. Spoiler, I'm not a musician. Instead, I fulfilled a lifelong prophecy that I would hear over and over growing up from our family and friends that because I spoke 3 languages, I would work for the federal government one day. And work for the federal government I did. I was the National Operational Training Officer for Passport Canada. Thank you. That meant I got to move to the big city of Toronto. I got to have fancy things like a security clearance and a dedicated BlackBerry and credit card. And I got to travel around the country delivering training. But most importantly, I had the income to take extravagant trips like the one I was on right now. Because even though I wasn't performing music, I still loved to experience it. We are on day 2 of 3 at the 20th anniversary of Lollapalooza in Chicago. Yeah. Last night we saw Coldplay and A Perfect Circle. Tonight was Eminem. But tomorrow is what I am most excited about. I have been following Dave Grohl since the Nirvana days, yes. I fell in love with the first Foo Fighters album after the first time I saw the Big Me video. Remember that? The Mentos commercial parody? Yeah, no, aging myself, okay. Great. But I had never seen them live, and they were headlining the festival. Even better, someone in our crew had scored some weed. 2 joints were sitting in front of my work bestie, Callum, and the third one was making its way around the circle and coming back to me. Just as I'm about to put it to my lips, out of the corner of my eye, I see 2 huge Chicago PD police officers barreling towards us. And I panic in that moment because I realize, oh shit, weed is still very illegal here. And I panic because if they catch me, I could lose my job and all associated benefits. I would bring devastation and shame upon my very traditional family. And worst of all, I'd have to move back to Windsor. So in one fell swoop, I drop the joint, stamp it into the ground, get up, and book myself power walking through the crowd. Behind me, I hear someone yelling, "Hey, stop! Police! Get back here!" And I am reeling. All I can think about is all of the ways that I know this is going to end badly. And I am so stressed. And I am so stoned. And as I'm trying to think about what my next move is, all of a sudden I feel a hand clamp down on my shoulder and a voice scream in my ear, "Hey, you, I told you to stop!" So I turn around, put on my biggest doe eyes, and I'm like, "Who, me? You were talking to me? What did I do?" And he goes, "You know what you did." He wrenches me by my arm and drags me back to my friends. They're all still sitting in the same circle, except for my work bestie, Callum, who's standing, being gripped by the other officer. They start yelling at us. "We should take you down to the station and book you right now." I'm like, "What for?" And they're like, "Consumption and possession of an illegal substance." And in my head, I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me? We're in Chicago. Imagine all of the other crime that's happening right now. And you're choosing this, a little joint at a music festival outside, to waste your time and resources on? Give me a fucking break. I stay calm. And out loud I say, "I really don't think that's necessary." They yell, "Give us your ID!" So I do. And as he opens my passport holder, in the card flap is my passport employee ID. And I see him eyeing it, and I think, this is my chance. So I steady my voice, and I say, "Listen, I work for the Canadian government," and I point to Callum and say, "and so does my friend. If you arrest us right now, you are literally ruining our lives." They say, "We should throw you in jail right now." And I'm like, "Is there anything else that we can do?" And they say, "Yeah, you can get the hell out of the park." Okay. So we sadly wave goodbye to our friends, and they have to make a big deal of marching us out of the park like we're criminals so they can feel really good about themselves. And in my head, I'm thinking, this is fine. We've got weekend wristbands. They allow in and out. We'll let it cool down for a few hours. We'll go right back in. But as we get to the gate, this loser cop pulls out a pair of scissors and snips off our weekend wristbands, tosses them in the bin, says, "Don't you even think about coming back in," and sends us away. And I am devastated. Me and Callum are walking back to our hotel, and I'm sobbing, inconsolable, rambling, bumbling mess. I'm like, I can't believe we came all the way here. I spent all this money. I wanted to have this amazing experience, and now we're going to miss the rest of the festival. We're going to miss Foo Fighters. And Callum turns to me, stoic-faced, and he goes, "Zane, that was Chicago PD back there. They could have done whatever they wanted to us. They could have thrown us in jail. They could have done way worse than that. We got off lucky. All they did was kick us out of the park. We are lucky." And I feel everything in my brain change. Oh my God, he's right. I feel this wave come over me like I have a new lease on life. So I wipe my tears away and I say, "Callum, I'm getting back into that fucking festival tomorrow." We get back to the hotel. I check Chicago's Craigslist. I find someone selling a day 3 ticket because he got 2 sunburned the first 2 days and he does not want to go back. The next morning, I'm on Chicago public transit on my way to his house, and I check in with my gut one more time. Is this a good idea? And it tells me yes. As I'm knocking on a very expensive-looking door, I'm greeted with a bright red face, and I realize, yes, he is telling the truth. because I trust my gut and I trust myself. Yes. He sells me that very real ticket. And a few hours later, I'm standing in the dark in a massive field of 250,000 people, and Foo Fighters are about to go on. They start their first song, Bridge Burning, and I can feel the bass vibrating through my whole body. I can hear Dave Grohl's voice ringing in my ears. It's so clear, and the music is just like bubbling in my stomach and my chest. And then 4 songs in, they start the drum intro, the iconic drum intro, Taylor Hawkins, R.I.P., to the song My Hero. And just as the song kicks in, the sky opens up and the rain pours down. And instantly, everyone is soaked. I look around, everybody is losing their minds. The band freaking out. Dave Grohl is doing this. He's got the biggest smile on his face. All of them do. They're just emanating joy. And I can tell in that moment, these are masters of their instruments. And they love what they're doing so much that they're going to keep doing it through a torrential downpour with huge ass smiles on their faces. And I realize that's how I feel as an artist. I feel so connected in that moment to the band, to all these strangers around me, and to myself. I know that performing and connecting with people through music is what I'm supposed to be doing. 2 days later, I'm back in my office in the federal government building at Young and Shepherd. I got back last night super late. I've barely slept. I'm exhausted. It's hard to focus on work. But I've got my radio on to 102.1 The Edge so that the music can get me through this work day. All of a sudden I hear Bookie, the DJ, say, "Today, the Foo Fighters live from the Edge Studios at Sugar Beach." Wait, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I just went all the way to Chicago. I went through all this trouble to see this fucking band, and now they're here in my city, so close to my house, and I have to listen to it on the radio because I'm stuck at work like some stooge? I'm about to fully crash out. When the sky opens up and the rain pours down, as if it's mocking me, reminding me of that connection and that joy I felt in the field 2 days before. Suddenly, pew, all the lights go out. I look at my computer, it's dark. My boss comes out of her office. She's like, "Let's give it a few minutes and see what happens." And I'm like, could the rain be friend and not foe? The longest few minutes of my life go by. She comes back out of her office and she says, "Well, I can't do anything. So if I can't do anything, you can't do anything. And so I guess we should just go home." When I tell you I book it out of there so fast, I run to the subway, I run home, I pull out the same dress that I had on 2 nights before. It's still wet. I put it back on. And I book my ass down to Sugar Beach. And I have no idea what to expect. I get there, there's like 100 people maybe gathered around the open garage doors of the Edge Studios. And there's Bookie. And there's Bookie bringing out the Foo Fighters. They're being inducted into the Edge Rock of Fame. And he starts, "I'd like to thank you for single-handedly saving rock and roll Sunday night at Lollapalooza." I yell, "I was there! It changed my life!" Dave Grohl laughs and says, "Mine too." And then he tells us the story of the events leading up to and the performance, that epic show in the rain, everything that they felt leading up to and during that epic show. And I realized in that moment, that connection I felt was real because I trust my gut and I trust myself. So in between interview segments, as they're playing the, radio commercials, people are going up and getting things signed by the band. And I'm cursing myself because I didn't bring a single CD, T-shirt, any of the other Foo Fighters paraphernalia I have back at home because I just wasn't thinking I was in such a rush to get down there. And suddenly, I have gone from being 1 in 250,000 people to being one-on-one, face-to-face with Dave Grohl. I blurt out, "I was at your show Sunday night." And he takes my hand, presses it to his chest, and says, "Did you love it?" And I say, "Yes, I'm the one that yelled. It's changed my life." And so I was wondering if you could write something on my wrist so I could go and get it tattooed. And in a classic dad fashion, he scoffs and goes, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yes, please write something on my wrist to commemorate the craziest 4 days I've had in my life." So his exact words were, "Let me do this." He takes the Sharpie, he starts doodling on my wrist, he signs his name underneath, and I can't see what he's doing because I'm like this. He's done. I look down. He's drawn an angry cartoon monster face in black Sharpie. I'm like, "Thanks." It's kind of aggressive. I don't really know what to do with this. And as I look up, he's already moved on to the next people, so I don't even have a chance to get a photo. I walk away, and I realize that this needs to be a part of my body forever. So, to soften it, I got it in pink ink. Every time I look down at my tattoo, it reminds me that I trust my gut, I trust myself, and performing and connecting with people through music is what I am meant to be doing. And now I am. Thank you. All right, welcome to the stage, my friend and bandmate Will from By Request Live Karaoke. Woo, woo, woo. Big entrance. We're going to do a little Foo Fighters song for you. Waited here for you ever long. Tonight I throw myself into out of the red, she sang. Come down and waste away with me, down with me. Slow how you be? I'm over my head, out of her head, she sang. And I wonder, when I sing along with you, if everything could ever feel this real forever. If anything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say when. She sang. Breathe out so I can breathe you in. Hold you in. And now I know you've always been. Out of your head, out of my head, I sing. And I wonder, when I sing along with you, if everything could ever feel this real forever. If anything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say when. She sang. This is the part of the song where they're whispering to each other, because Dave Grohl and Louise Post were in a long-distance relationship. This song's about her. He was on tour with the Foo Fighters, she was on tour with Ferguson, and they would call each other late at night to have these deep conversations about being in love long distance. And she ended up recording her vocals through the telephone. They went like, and I wonder, now sing along with you, if everything could ever feel this real forever. If anything could ever be this good again. Only thing I'll ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say when. Don't say when. Make some noise for Will one more time on guitar.